How's she doing?
She barely speaks to me.
I don't need your sympathy, Uncle John.
That Mustang's got a real mean streak.
She's just angry. She was rounded up and taken away from her family.
What's her name?
I haven't given her a name yet.
I heard you lost your family, too. You really are beautiful. That's what I'll call you. Black Beauty.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk about your beautiful version of Black Beauty. First question is, do you think because the story is narrated from the point of the horse is part of the reason why we keep coming back to it? Like, we get to the idea of what they feel and the kindness that they deserve. I just wonder if that's why you think that we keep coming back to the story.
Thanks, Juan. That's a great question. I think that there's something very revolutionary in what Anna Sewell did when she wrote Black Beauty. It was very powerful for the first time to read something, I would assume at that point in that time in her life, for people to read a book from the first person perspective of an animal, of a horse, in a time that horses often were treated as tools. They were workhorses, they were cab horses, they were pulling the plows, they were carting people around. And to understand through Beauty's eyes the joys that she had in her life as well as the hardships, and to read that poignantly and powerfully, I think really helped to revolutionize what happened when Anna Sewell published the novel. And sadly, she passed away 5 months after Black Beauty was published, but she made huge waves of change for our understanding of animal and horse empathy after Beauty came out. So I think keep coming back to it because it is so unique. And it's also challenging to try to write a film or capture the spirit of the novel through film with essentially a talking horse. And it was my goal to do that very elegantly. Obviously, there's no mouths moving. Beauty's voice is through her voiceover is through her inner thoughts, and she narrates the journey of her life. So it was a unique challenge to try to figure out a way into that for modern audiences.
So speaking of that, I was really impressed. How was your process in terms of the screenwriting of putting, what's been done and making it timely for sort of the new modern audience? Because there are some differences in the adaptation, but I just wonder how you freed yourself to get there creatively, because it's really great what you did.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It was interesting because I grew up with the novel. I grew up loving the novel. Horses entered my life because of Black Beauty, the book. So it was really important to me to honor what Anna Sewell constructed, and in modernizing the story, to make some of those changes for audiences of today, but keep the core and the heart of the original book, the original locations, the original characters, even though Beauty and Joe Green are female in this version, which was timely, I think. I think, diversity and giving voices to diverse people, horses, it's just, that's something that's important today. So that was the reasoning behind making Beauty and Joe female. But a lot of the scenes, for example, the river sequence, the fire, those were original events from the novel, and we've just updated them to be relevant now. And then, of course, Beauty being a wild horse, that was very much a parallel to what Anna Sewell wanted to do to help the horses of her time. She wanted to help cab horses, and we thought, what a beautiful way to honor Anna Sewell's legacy, to make Beauty a wild horse and to see if that can help wild horses of today.
So talk to me about the relationship with your DP, because I'd have to tell you, when I was watching this, I really missed the big screen because the scope of what you did.
Thanks.
There's such an Americana, epic, beautiful photography that you guys did. So tell me a little bit about that collaboration.
David Proctor's our DP. He was just, our sensibilities were so in line. And the minute I saw his work, when we were looking for a DP on the project, you have the massive DPs who have done, The Lion King in mind, and that wasn't possible on this film. And so I was so empowered by our amazing producers, especially Jeremy Bolt, who allowed me to comb through, it was over 300 links of different DPs from the different agencies. And I was just searching for someone that I knew, I wanted to have that gut feeling of, that's exactly it. That's exactly the style, the texture, the framing. And the minute I saw David's work, it was just that moment of, this is exactly the person. And Jeremy Bolt loved his work, and we connected on our first call, and he had great ideas right off the bat. He's highly intelligent. It's difficult to find I feel like this goes for any artist, someone who's both incredibly artistic, but also incredibly technical. And David is a merger of that. I mean, with our tight shooting schedule and all of the things we wanted to pull off, he kept, even when we had 8 minutes to shoot a scene, it's like, okay, we need this coverage, and just the ballets, so to speak, that we were able to create. It was, I'm very grateful to have worked with him. And then our Steadicam operator, Dale Rodkin, and our camera op, our A camera op, Damian Powell, those guys were just, it was like this trifecta. It was like we had this amazing trifecta of creatives. Dale, the Steadicam op, actually wore ear pods with my writing playlist, the playlist that I listened to when I wrote the screenplay, as he was operating and curving around Beauty's face. You don't get that kind of dedication every day.
No, that's beautiful.
It was beautiful.
So my last question would be, I sort of was lucky that because I knew it was a new adaptation, I kind of like just sat down and watched the film, and then I was pleasantly surprised to see that it was Kate Winslet who did the voice of Beauty. I did not know listening to her, so it was kind of like. So tell me a little bit about sort of the purity of that performance, because in any other tone it could be melodramatic, but it's just such a pure sort of delivery. Did you get that with her right away, or did you guys have fun in the booth sort of finding that level?
It was that right away. We had fun in the booth too, but it was when I sat down to write the screenplay, I really was trying hard not to think about any actors for any of the roles, but I very much write to speech patterns and idiosyncrasies, and I've always been fascinated with speech, and I couldn't help it. I've admired her for so long, and she's the most elegant, and she and Kenzie are so similar. They have very similar traits. They're both elegant and intelligent. They're old souls, wise spirits. They're fiery but delicate, and those qualities were what I was hoping to imbue the voice of Beauty with, and Joe Green. But Kate Winslet, I mean, I wrote the movie with her in mind, and I was bowled over when I got the call that she had said yes. I spent hours writing her a one-page letter that authentically told her why I was hoping she might respond to the material, and we were just really lucky that she did. And pure is a very good word for her. There is a purity that rings true.
And also with the rest of the film. But my time is up, so pleasure talking to you about it.
Such a pleasure.